How Trump claims victory when facts suggest otherwise. The president's misleading agreement with Mexico showcases his reality TV tactics, but the media keeps talking the bite. Another drama, another cliffhanger, another disaster averted at the last minute. Donald Trump had saved the world again. The strange saga of the US-Mexico trade war that never was serves up the latest example of Trump's reality television presidency. Time and again, he has manufactured crises, set deadlines, made threats, pulled back from the brink and claimed victory while keeping the details notoriously vague. The cycle of razzle-dazzle enables Trump to galvanize his support base, selling himself as a man of action, and keeps the media memorized while his government pushes reforms or slashes regulations on the quiet. When the smoke clears, however, not much of the substance has really changed. It's a pretty simple pattern. The Democratic leader, Chuck Schumer, told the Senate on Monday. The president stakes out a maximalist position but never clearly defines his objectives. That way, after he backs himself into a corner, he can use a deal of any kind, even if it's merely a fig leaf, to justify retreating from whatever misguided policy he's threatened. Then he declares victory, having done little to nothing to solve the underlying problem. Noting Trump's penchant for big summits, photo ops, scares tactics and belligerent threats, Schumer added, "What he did here is typical of the president's game show foreign policy, a big problem without very much progress." Trump honed his mastery of the medium as host of The Apprentice and The Celebrity Apprentice from 2004 to 2015. He was obsessed with ratings and not shy about exaggerating them. In the Trump Tower boardroom, he was both businessman and showman, a master of suspense, as contestants dreaded the words "You are fired" at the show's climax. Randall Pinkett, the winner of The Apprentice in 2005, said, "The idea of being the center of attention and sucking up all the oxygen in the room when you are the host of The Apprentice, that might be your job, but not when you are President of the United States. That's about policy, not media wardom." But now Trump occupies the Oval Office, and the contestant in the latest public spectacle was Mexico. The president was reportedly incensed that, despite all his promises, border crossings in May reached their highest level in more than 12 years. In excess of 132,000 people. On 30th May, he reached for import taxes, tariffs, which have become his weapon of choice. On June 10th, the United States will impose a 5% tariff on all goods coming into our country from Mexico, until such as illegal migrants coming through Mexico and into our country stop. He suddenly announced on Twitter. The tariffs will gradually increase until the illegal immigration problem is remedied. Immediately, the clock was ticking towards the 10th June deadline. Senior officials from both countries met for talks with billions of dollars at stake. Mexico in America's biggest trading partner. The US's new trade agreement with Mexico and Canada was suddenly imperiled. Trump had generated an entirely unnecessary crisis. Business leaders were on edge, Democrats were outraged, and even Senate Republicans threatened to rebel. warning against a self-inflicted wound. The president traveled to Europe, dined with Ukraine, and attended D-Day commemorations, but he insisted he wasn't bluffing. The crippling tariffs would go on. Then at 8:31 p.m. last Friday came a bolt out of the blue. I am pleased to inform you that the United States of America has reached a signed agreement with Mexico, Trump tweeted. The tariffs scheduled to be implemented by the U.S. on Monday against Mexico are hereby indefinitely suspended. The U.S. announced that Mexico had agreed to deploy 6,000 National Guard personnel throughout the country, giving priority to its southern border. In addition, people crossing the U.S. southern border to seek asylum would be rapidly returned to Mexico to await the adjudication of their asylum claims. Mexico would offer them jobs, healthcare, and education. Trump hyped the apparent concessions as evidence that his tariff threats had worked and was held for strong leadership by friendly media outlets. But not for the first time, the New York Times burst his bubble, reporting that the much-vaunted deal was merely warmed-up leftovers. It said the Mexican government had already pledged to deploy the National Guard in March, and that the plan for asylum seekers had been worked out last December. Sowing other confusion, the president went on to claim he had an immigration and security deal with Mexico, only for the Mexican Foreign Minister Marcelo Ebrard to deny that such a deal exists. On Tuesday, Trump taunted reporters at the White House by waving around a folded piece of paper that he claimed was a deal with Mexico. Without the tariffs, we would have had nothing, he said. Analysts fear that the perceived success will encourage Trump to intensify his trade war with China. Even old allies are concerned. Anthony Scaramucci, who spent 11 days as White House Communication Director in 2017, said, "You can yo-yo the tariffs and create a lot of buzz and fanfare around what you are doing and control the news cycle, but you can't yo-yo the tariffs without it having a consequential effect on business. Just look at that, the data." But he added, that does work for him because, remember, his attitude is, "I'm going to worry about the base. Everything else will take care of itself." And if you think about it from that perspective, he's probably right, because as long as he gets voters' participation numbers with his base close to where he was, he's likely to win re-election. The reality TV Presidents has produced some classic episodes. 2 years ago, Trump raised the prospect of the existence of tape recordings of his private conversation with the fired FBI Director James Comey. With the Washington gossip machine working itself up to fever pitch, he finally tweeted, "I did not make and do not have any such recordings." The president also relishes building drama and suspense around his appointments of senior officials and Supreme Court justices. None of it comes as much surprise to students of his business and entertainment careers. One of his biographers, Gwenda Blair, said, "His experience at getting people's attention with something they are not expecting, or a reversal of the last thing they heard, generating a headline with a tweet, He follows the saying, "You want a crowd? Start a fight." Bill Wallen, a research fellow at the Hoover Institute in Palo Alto, California, and former media consultant to Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger, said part of Trump being Trump is the art of the deal at the cliffhanger. It has a complete reality TV quality to it because each episode ends with the camera turned on him and the question, "Mr. President, what should we do?" The whole point of reality TV is to get people watching and wanting to come back. Trump plays the media very well, and the media continues to take the bait. Since you are here, we have a small favor to ask. More people are reading and reporting our independent, investigative reporting than ever before. And unlike many news organizations, we have chosen an approach that allows us to keep our journalism accessible to all, regardless of where they live or what they can afford. The Guardian is editorially independent, meaning we set our own agenda. Our journalism is free from commercial bias and not influenced by billionaire owners, politicians, or shareholders. No one edits our editor. No one steers our opinion. This is important as it enables us to give a voice to those less heard, challenge the powerful, and hold them to account. It's what makes us different to so many others in the media. At a time when factual, honest reporting is critical, every contribution we receive from readers like you, big or small, goes directly into funding our journalism. This support enables us to keep working as well do, but they must maintain and build on it for every year to come.